Welcome to episode 4 of the ScottyV podcast. I'm Scotty V. Now, today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the road to Captain America Brave New World. So I'm going to be talking about a little bit of every movie leading up to it. So that's including the Avengers and other movies as well. So the journey of Captain America starts off with Captain America, the First Avenger. Basically, if you've seen my reviews on TikTok, you'll probably know it. I don't even know if I'm going to be uploading my TikTok videos on time before this uploads. I have no idea. But basically, we start off with the First Avenger. Steve Rogers wants to join the fight in World War II. His friends, a lot of his friends, or his only friend, Bucky, is at the war, but he can't join the war because he's not physically fit to join the military. He has some health issues. He's too short. So he tries to do everything he can to make his way into the military. He lied on his papers. He tried everything, and he couldn't get through. He kept on getting denied. Like a lot of us today, we get denied for a lot of things. So then he meets a doctor. The doctor is looking for someone to be a recipient of the first ever super soldier serum, and the doctor's the only one who ever was successful. Successful to ever create one. And they've always tried to mimic that serum ever since. But he was not looking for a military man. He was looking for someone with heart. And he found that with Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers eventually joined the military. He took the super soldier serum. And he actually fell in love with a woman named Peggy Carter, who is with the Allies. So he got the serum. But when he got the serum, the people in the military thought, hey, this can be a good propaganda thing. So let's make a play out of him. So they made a play surrounding Captain America. It's like, hey, you should join the military. This is why. And they made short films and so much things. And then when he actually did get into the war, he found out his friend was still alive, Bucky, because he assumed he was dead. So he ended up going to go save him in wherever he went. He became a hero. He saved so many hostages. And Steve Rogers became Captain America, the American icon. They go through a whole battle. They find Red Skull. Steve Rogers loses Bucky, and then he goes on just to avenge his friend that died in the train. Him as in Steve Rogers and Red Skull end up having a big fight in an airplane. The aerial battle is pretty awesome, and how Captain America survived that one-on-one, like with those little mini planes with bombs in it, is beyond me. Pretty impressive though. So he ends up fighting the Red Skull, but the whole thing is Red Skull and the Hydra agents were making weapons with the Tesseract, which had an Infinity Stone, which was the Space Stone. But at the time of the film, we didn't understand what the Tesseract was and what was powering it. We didn't know it was a Tesseract until later on in the film, or in the Avengers movie. So Steve Red Skull have a big fight. Red Skull gets teleported to another planet, which at the time we didn't know where it went, but now we know it was Vormir. He became the keeper of the Soul Stone, and then Steve Rogers crashed a plane with all the bombs that had cities on it, like Chicago and New York, for example. Crashed into the ice. 70 years later, he wakes up to a sports game that he attended, and then he runs into the middle of the streets of New York, and he realizes that, wait, this is not New York. It looks so different. And then Nick Fury comes out saying, hey, it's a whole new world, buddy. You were in sleep for 70 years, so now it's time to join the fight again. So yeah, that was the whole progression from the first Avenger. So we got Steve Rogers, who was nothing, became Captain America, sacrificed his life to save his country during World War II. And now he kind of fell asleep because he sacrificed himself. He woke up 70 years later, and now he's still the icon, still the symbol of American freedom, and that's it. We lead into the Avengers. Captain America is pretty much just trying to figure who he is, and how he tries to fit in to modern day. He meets the Avengers. They go through a whole battle. He doesn't get along with everybody, but then he joins the team. Then they have this whole battle with the T'Challa and Loki. You know the story. Not really Captain America centric, but he's took on as the leader of the team. After that, we go into the Winter Soldier, which Steve Rogers is pretty much still trying to figure out where he is and how he should fit in. So he joined Shield to protect people, but he doesn't realize that him working in Shield has some consequences. You know what I mean? Nick Fury is in this film along with Black Widow, and we get introduced to Sam, which is the Falcon in the MCU, which now he becomes Captain America after Endgame. So Nick Fury is doing some investigation, and he realizes that, hey, something's not right here. He noticed something, that Hydra was taking over Shield. And when they got a whiff of that, they try to end him. They try to get rid of Nick Fury, which they almost did. They sent the Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier almost wiped him out, but he actually ended up finding a way to escape, which was like, Nick Fury, you can't get that guy, man. So then he goes to Steve Rogers, and he's holding up like a phone, and he's saying that Shield is compromised, and he's like, "Oh, what about your wife?" Talking in code. Winter Soldier ends up tracking them, shoots Nick Fury in the back, supposedly kills him, and he gives him like a chip, like a secret chip, and he's like, "I don't trust nobody." Captain America goes chasing the Winter Soldier. He throws the shield, and he just like, boom, grabs the shield and throws it back at him. For him not to kill him right then and there, because obviously that was not his mission, and he kind of knew who that was. Where else am I gonna go with this story? So Captain America, Falcon, and Black Widow trying to do some more digging. The biggest plot twist of the film was they figured out that Armin Zola was recruited by SHIELD, but while he was recruited by SHIELD, he actually ended up infiltrating SHIELD and became so Hydra became a division in SHIELD, and nobody knew except for Nick Fury, and then Captain America and Black Widow, and they ended up, Arnim Zola ended up blowing them up, but obviously it's a comic book movie, you can't really kill the main character. They escaped that. They realized that Nick Fury is still alive. They come up with a plan, and they realize that SHIELD has 3 helicarriers powered by Stark Energy, because what he did in the first film, and he realizes that hey, they're targeting people future and current and future, which one of the agents said, "Oh, it's Stephen Strange, blah blah blah, Bruce Banner." So they were targeting even people in the future because there's an algorithm that they can detect what that person would be. So they knew Stephen Strange would be a Sorcerer Supreme at some point. Captain America, Steve Rogers, has a big fight with Bucky. They end up blowing up the helicarriers. Steve Rogers gets saved by Winter Soldier because he realizes who he is, but lets him live and doesn't really do anything. Then we get Age of Ultron. Captain America tries to save Sokovia. Like I said, not really a centric Captain America movie. Ooh, that was loud. It was more like an Iron Man building Vision and Ultron type thing. We go to Captain America Civil War. Now, Civil War basically is a continuation of Age of Ultron. The Sokovia Accords were introduced into this film, which caused the Avengers to be divided into 2 teams. Captain America being freedom, and Stark being trapped in contract. I don't know what the proper word for that is, but they end up having a big civil war because of the Sokovia Accords, and Baron Zemo was part of the problem as well. He caused a lot of stuff. That he killed T'Challa's father, King T'Chaka, and the UN during the signing of the Accords. We get introduced to Spider-Man as well. Tony Stark goes to see Spider-Man. And basically, this movie is about Captain America and his friendship. He tried to do everything he can to save Bucky. They go to Siberia to stop Baron Zemo. But Baron Zemo shows a clip of the Winter Soldier killing Tony Stark's parents. And then that has a whole other fallout, that Winter Soldier, Captain America, and Iron Man fight, and they break up because Captain America chose his best friend that he knew since he was a child. Like, obviously, I would do the same. I would choose my best friend I knew since I was like a kid. They had a big falling out. Everybody went their separate ways. And then we get into Infinity War, where Captain America had his secret Avengers, and they're trying to save the world secretly. And then you got Iron Man, who disappeared in space with Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and the Guardians to stop Thanos. At the end, they lost, and that really broke Iron Man and Captain America together. Then Then we get Endgame, and then Endgame was we're bringing everybody back. Captain America finally lifted up the hammer, and he ended up saving the day. Iron Man sacrificed himself, and then he went back in time to be with Peggy. He came back to present day. He was an old man, and he passed on the shield to Falcon. So Falcon took on the shield. He's like, I'll do my best. We go into the Winter Soldier, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The whole series is about Captain America, Sam deciding if he wanted to be Captain America. He decided not to be, and then they gave it to Winter Soldier, who was the fake Captain America. And then a U.S. agent did something so bad, he killed somebody in public. The government ended up stripping him, and Sam was dealing with a whole new organization, something misplacing people from the blimp or whatever. I still don't understand the concept of that show. He ended up being like, you know what? People need a Captain America. I'm going to be Captain America. So, Sam Wilson became Captain America officially with a new suit, which is pretty awesome. But then race was brought into it and all this bullshit. But whatever. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter. If you're fit to be Captain America, you should be Captain America. And then, that's it. We haven't seen no more about Captain America until we're going to get this movie. Brave New World, which originally was called New World Order. Should have been still called that, but because you gotta be politically correct. Morons. But anyways, I can't wait to see Captain America. Basically, I don't know what this is going to be about. I think it's going to be a war on adamantium and who's going to get the adamantium and on Tiamat and all that kind of stuff. Red Hulk is going to be in it. That's cool. But apparently he's not going to be in it for too long, which is unfortunate. But hey, what are you going to do? Thank you so much for watching episode 4 of the ScottyV podcast. I know it wasn't much. It's a quick rundown of the road to Captain America Brave New World. I know it's not the best video, but I still like doing these kind of videos. Like, support, and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. Like I said, if you have any topic ideas, let me know, and I can certainly do them. Thank you so much. Be good.